This is the first system of its kind directly threatening our area in quite some time.
We are going to be dealing with record-setting flooding in multiple regions across the state of Texas.
The water came in so suddenly, we didn't have a chance to prepare.
It has been 5 years since Hurricane Harvey stormed through the southeast region of Texas. Houston was tragically flooded, with highways and roads overfilled with water, which was no longer safe for residents. Since then, we wanted to follow up with residents of the Northeast communities who were widely displaced from the aftermath of Harvey and learn how their lives have changed since then. The Bullard Center at Texas Southern University and the Northeast Houston Redevelopment Council has reached out to community members and groups to learn their feedback 5 years later.
There was no response. There's still not any response. I'm still fighting now.
Black and brown neighborhood, they're not gonna do anything for us.
Nobody came from the city nor the organizations immediately after.
They're not really doing anything to help you.
We noticed immediately that the city, the state, and the federal government were not coming to us as soon as they were going to other places.
We're last. It's not a response time. We're the last one to get the help. And what I found out is that here in this neighborhood, they don't come and help you.
They often think that people like us and our black counterparts are lower educated, in the lower income finance bracket. They're not economically viable, so therefore they're not worth helping.
People find reasons not to help those that are poor that should be receiving these services.
The city agreed that they would rebuild, and then once the city lost custody of the money, I'd already went through the process. I got the blueprints of the new house that they were going to build. And once the GLO took over, they deemed me ineligible.
The city, they should have gotten more funding from the federal government and allocated not through the state, not through Greg Abbott's office, and definitely not through the GLO. That funding should have went straight to the city of Houston and straight to Harris County.
We must make the worst first. We must take time to care about those that may look different than us, speak different than us, and have a different ideology than we do.
I think the focus should have been, knowing the area had been flooded, I think they should have come out and inspected us individually and saw what our needs were and offered to assist us. But they didn't do that.
They don't want to give us no help, so we have historically, this has been our thing because we are adaptable people. We know how to survive.
General Land Office, our office needs to give us what is owed. That money was supposed to go to black and brown communities, but like I said before, they always tend to marginalize us. They devalue us.
There are so many 5 years later, that are still waiting for help. They still have their paperwork in. They're still being denied.
It's not fair, it's not right. I don't think that because they don't live it, what you're going through, they just keep pounding and pounding and pounding on you, and you don't get any help.
I know people today that are still waiting for work on their houses to be done. Not only that, I know people that have passed away while they're waiting on this response.
First of all, if you get the same contractors that you send into these rich white folks' neighborhood and bring them out here, you wouldn't have that problem.
For the last 70-some years, it's always been like that. Black and brown, you know, y'all just stick around. We'll get to you eventually, maybe.
In a lot of cases, I do think that we're kind of forgotten.
They need to follow up, because guess what? What y'all told me y'all was gonna do, it still ain't done. And If it took my vote to keep y'all in office, y'all wouldn't have it.
This system must change. And it's not just in Houston. We must help everyone.
We're hopeful people. So that's what's holding us up, is that people want us to have recovered and we have not.
If another Harvey comes through, I mean, it's gonna wipe us out, period.
Our neighborhood is not ready.
It's not a matter of if this house will flood again. They know it's gonna flood. They know it, but they're not doing anything about it.
We're still in the same condition. We're black and brown communities where philanthropic dollars don't always come into our communities, and government grants definitely don't come into our community. So it's up to us to repair that, and we haven't gotten there yet.
It's never going to change. You go to any part of the world and it's always the minority, either ethnic minority or cultural or whatever. There's discrimination all around the world. It's like they devalue us.
It's time for a change. We tired of flooding.
They need to respond quicker and better even before a disaster happens.
Unless you bring everyone along on this recovery, you might as well consider you brought no one along.
Shame on you. Shameful how you treated the people. Shame on you. We need help. We need help.